Hi, my name is David, and I'm going to walk you through how I solved the CSWA practice problem 9.1, which includes 9.1A and 9.1B. Now here we are in level 9, working on assemblies now instead of parts, so the workflow is a little bit different. But the start is pretty much the same. We're going to make sure that our units are correct first. So let's open up an assembly and change the units. We can hit Control N, click on Assembly, click OK, or hit Enter. And now we've got a blank assembly. And the first thing we're going to do is dive in there and switch to IPS. Okay, now the design intent, it says, is to insert the plier handle base at the origin. So let's see how to do that. We can go over here to Insert Components. And you can navigate to the folder that has the parts. These parts are in a zip file if you download the CSWA practice problems. So you just want to unzip them and put them in a folder. I have it put in the folder Practice Problems 9.1. And then we see plier handle base right there. So we can click on it or double click and open it up. And you can see that the part is moving around with the cursor. Now if I click somewhere, it's going to set the part down right there. And because I have only fixed first component set, if you don't have this set, this is usually going to be a good one for the CSWA practice problems. This is going to fix the first component to wherever you click. But we want to fix it at the origin. And so the way to fix it at the origin is way to place any of these parts down at the origin is to move over here and just hit the green check mark. So now, not only is this going to be fixed, but it's going to be fixed at the origin. And you can tell that it's fixed at the origin. Well, number one, you can tell that it's fixed because there's an F right here. So that means you can't move it around or rotate it. And you can tell that it's fixed at the origin, like the origin's aligned, because you can open the part, select the origin of the part, which you can see there as the blue dot. And then if you mouse over the origin of the whole assembly, you can see it's highlighted in orange, and they're at the same place. They're coincident. So we're locked into the origin of the assembly. So this part is locked. This part's origin is locked into the assembly's origin, and that's good. So now let's look at inserting the other components. So we're going to click on the handle, hold down Control, click on Joint so that we can open both these up at the same time. And we'll see the parts start to appear one at a time. Now, before you place these parts, you can rotate them. And there's a little dialog that shows up here. If you don't see it, it might be on another monitor, possibly. That was confusing me for a long time. It was popping up on another monitor because you can move this around and you can move it to other monitors if you want for some reason. And you can then use this to rotate the part, either about the x-axis or the y-axis or the z-axis. And the axes are shown down here in the bottom right. So we can rotate about the x-axis like this. It rotates in 90-degree increments, but you can change that. And actually, if you have the X selected, which is the default at first, you can also hit the Tab key to rotate, as well as Shift Tab. So some little shortcuts. But it's probably, hard to remember that unless you're doing this over and over and over again. So you can also just rotate it using this little context menu or little window. If you rotate about the y-axis, it looks something like this. Moves a little bit more crazily, and then the z-axis. Okay, so looking at the picture and how everything's oriented, I probably want to rotate about the x-axis a couple times so that this part is lined up like this, closer to what it's actually going to look like. So I'm just going to plop it down, and then this part here I'm just going to lay out anywhere. So this is the joint that's going to go in these two centers. All right. So we're going to start mating these parts together. So we can go into the mate command. It's right next to insert components. Those are the two that you're probably going to be using most often with CSWA here. So we can go into the mate interface and start mating these parts together. first off, we're going to make sure that these two circles are basically concentric to each other. So I'm going to select the cylindrical face here, and then this cylindrical face, and we'll see that the two cylinders are lined up along the same axis now. And we can hit enter, and that mate has been created. So you can see the mate appearing down here. So with this mate in place, if we start trying to rotate things, we can rotate about this axis, and we can also move along this axis as well. But these two cylinders are locked to be concentric to each other. Okay, well, we want this to be flush up against the other handle here. So let's go ahead and do that. We can select this face here, and then select this face here, and it automatically selects a coincident mate. If you didn't want that, if you just wanted those faces to be parallel, you could change that here, but oftentimes it'll select a good mate. Okay, so that's looking good. We wanted those to be flush against each other, so we can hit enter. And now if we look at our degrees of freedom, all we can do is rotate about that axis. So all we can do is rotate, and that's good. That's what we want. All right, let's take this joint here and try to put it in its right place. So there are two things we need to have happen. We need this to be concentric to this. We can hit enter, and now this will be concentric. We can slide it around. There are actually 2 degrees of freedom, although it's hard to see one of them. One of them is just going in and out like this, but the other one is a rotational degree of freedom. And in this interface, if you want to rotate parts, you can right-click and drag, but you can't really see this one rotating very well, unfortunately. So you can, if you want to, try to lock that in place, but I've found that it's probably okay to just leave it as something that can be rotated. All right, so let's go ahead and make sure that this face is coincident to this face, so they're flush up against each other. And it automatically selected coincidence, so we'll just hit enter. That's looking pretty good. All right, get that isometric view. So the only thing we can change now is this handle can be moved up and down. Let's look at the specifications here, see what's going on. Okay, so we need this angle between these two flat faces of the handles to be 40 degrees. So we'll come back over to here, and we can click on this face and this face. Now it's making them coincident automatically, but we don't want that. Instead, what we want is we want the angle between them. We want to be able to specify the angle between them, and that's found in the advanced area here. So we want the angle between, oops, I'm sorry, it was found in the standard area. We want the angle between these two guys to be 40 degrees. All right, that's looking good. Hit enter. And yeah, that's about it. So if we want to exit out of this mate interface, we can just hit enter again, or at this point escape. Either one will do. And we can check our center of mass. So center of mass is 1.57, 0.57, and 0. And if we check 1.57, 0.57, and 0, looking good. So for part B, it's pretty straightforward. We start with the 9.1A assembly and just make a modification to it. All we're going to do is change that angle to 8 degrees. So to find that mate, we can go into the mates. We can see all the mates that we created, including that angle mate. So we can edit the angle mate and change the angle to 8 degrees. There we go. Check our mass properties, and we've got center of mass is 1.89, 0.13, and 0. 1.89, 0.13, and 0. Perfect. Okay, so we solved these 2 examples. I did want to spend a little bit of time, though, since this is the first assemblies video on the SolidWorks practice problems. I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about the assembly kind of environment here. So one thing is, it's maybe helpful to set up some mouse gestures. If you go to Tools and then scroll down a little bit to Customize, Mouse Gestures, you can see some mouse gestures for editing parts that I have set up, for sketches, and then here are mouse gestures for assembly. So the ones that I have set up, and your shortcuts will probably evolve over time like mine have, and I may end up switching to some different shortcuts, but at least I threw in some that may be useful. So there's the mate command, and basically to use these mouse gestures, if you haven't used them before, you find an empty space, right click and drag either to the left or right or up or down. And here I just have 4 gestures set up, but you can set many different directions. So you can have 8 gestures, 12 gestures, whatever. I feel like I'm probably not as too accurate, so I probably wouldn't be able to get 12 gestures in there and actually land any of them, because you just have to get it in the general direction. Anyway, so I have the mate command set up. If I click and drag, right click and drag to the left, and that enters that mate interface. That's something that you're going to be doing often when you're assembling things together. Then going up, I have isometric view, because sometimes I've found that Control 7 is a little hard to hit with my left hand. So being able to right click and drag up to put it in isometric view is nice. And then measure, going to the right, which is something that you might be asked in the CSWA tests questions to do. You might need to measure. It may ask you what the distance is between two entities. And then normal to is going down. And that's sometimes useful if you want to see a particular angle, like in 9.2, we'll be using that pretty often. So anyway, that's how I have my mouse gestures set up. Just to give you a little example, so like if I wanted to go normal to this face, I could left click on this face and then go to an empty space and drag down, and now I see a view that's normal to this face here. If I want to go back to isometric view, I can right click and drag up, and I'm in isometric view. So looking good. If I want to open up mates, right click and drag to the left, and I'm in mates. It saves you on mouse mileage, going over to mates. Now, if you want to set up some keyboard shortcuts for mates, that's good too, probably, and I might do that in the future, but for now, these mouse gestures seem pretty good. There are also other ways, aside from this mate interface here, of creating mates. So let me just exit out of here and delete these mates that we set up. So I'm going to say yes to all, delete all these mates, so we can pull this whole thing apart. Except for this one, this part is fixed, right? There's an F right there for fixed. So there's another way to mate things together where you don't have to enter that mate interface. Basically what you can do is you can click on like this curved face, for example, and then hold down Control, click on this curved face, this cylindrical face, and you can see a little context menu pops up. This is similar to when you were doing 2D sketches and setting up relations between sketch entities. So this context menu can give you the option to make these surfaces, these faces concentric, and that's what we can do right here. Then we can make this face and hold down Control, select this face, and release Control. We can make these coincident. All right, and then we can also do the same thing for putting this piece in here, but I want to show you yet another way to mate two things together. So if you're trying to make something that is both concentric and coincident, like we just did with that handle, sometimes you can, let me just rotate this part by right-clicking on it and dragging. So you can rotate right-clicking and dragging. Sometimes you can take the circle right here, this edge right here, and line it up with this edge in a special way. And I believe it's called Smart Mates. So if you hold down the Alt key And so hold down Alt and then click on this guy and drag. You can see that it's going to set a mate. And you can see that if we go right up until that circle, it's automatically locking these together. All right? So now if I release, it's set up both a concentric and a coincident mate. You can see these ones are already set up, like both of them are set up in just that one action. So definitely a smart feature that can help you get two mates set up with one little click and drag. You don't even have to be in Mates interface to do it. Sometimes it's a little bit clunky, but for those kinds of situations where you're taking something and trying to make a concentric and coincident mate, but like both of those mates in one, seems like it can be pretty useful. Anyway, it saves you a lot of time when you're putting things into holes. So that's it for my shortcuts. I hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching. Take care and keep studying.